I'll explain my little comment to the right side here in a moment. But I saw this pop up. I was getting ready to do a similar episode, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it on whatever news sites looking around, and I saw that adjustable rate mortgage demand doubles as interest rates hit highest since 2009. Well, what's this remind you of? Remember all those adjustable rate mortgages that went down in like 2006 and 2007 because everyone had that lifestyle creep and keeping up with the Joneses. Got to buy a bigger house, bigger house, bigger house. Oh, you got the Pottery Barn furniture? Oh man, I need to get that restoration. Hardware furniture. Oh, you got that new Audi A5? Oh, I got to go get that Porsche. Like, you know what happened in 2006 and 7? People kept buying these bigger homes, bigger homes, bigger homes because they thought homes never go down in value. Right. And then, I always say in America, anyways, homes are, Americans' favorite savings accounts. I don't really consider homes investments most of the time. It can be an investment, but for most people, it's a savings account. And they go take out equity lines and they go buy more stuff. They buy RVs and boats and trips. They do all this stuff, and then they got no equity, and then they got a house that's got this crazy rate and an adjustable mortgage. I mean, you know the story. We saw it in 2008. Unless you weren't old enough to experience that, I know quite a few people, my friends' kids. They're a little bit older now. They were like 10 years old when 2008 happened, and now they're like out of college and they're in the workforce, and they don't know. They have no idea what that was like. They only read about it, and what they read about was nothing like what really happened. It seemed. So we all seen the story before, and this graphic's actually from an Instagram post. You can follow me on Instagram at JamesPhillip313. But sometimes before I'm getting ready to do an article, I come across, some funny data, and I make a post on my story. And this is, I was looking for like spec homes and land and stuff to looking for some other investments to do in the last year or two. And I came across some houses, and I'm like, I'm gonna start pulling those houses up and see. So this house is like, straight going sideways for years, right? 2.2 million, based on this logic here, and then there was three different like algorithms on price. Let's just use the highest one for the hell of it. If I remember the property and the land, it had more than an acre, which is a lot for this neighborhood, and the size of the home, not the greatest finishes in the world, but decent finishes. Didn't have a pool, good schools. In my mind, looking at the homes in this area, this thing was probably 175 if the wind's blowing in the right direction and the market was warm. 2 million, and maybe there's something else I don't know about the home. Maybe it is worth 2.2. And then looking at the property taxes, they valued it at around $2 million. All of a sudden, boom, it was listed for 3.5. And then they brought it down to like 3.2 now. But the crazy part is you're seeing a lot of these homes where I saw one apartment that was listed for like 2.2 or something, 2.4, and now they're selling it for 3.5. Nothing's changed. They just pulled it off the market for 2 weeks. They put it back on the market for almost $1 million more. Like, that's how insane things are right now. Do you want to be the person that I could have bought that property like a month ago for 2.2, and now I just bought it for 3.4? Like, what if the market crashes? You get $1 million is going to evaporate out of your net worth in a blink of an eye. Here's my thing. I was telling somebody, and I mentioned another episode, in the same conversation. I'm talking about moving again one day or building a new home or doing something. I don't know. It's like, oh, you got to move now. You can get so much more for your house. I'm like, yeah, but the next house went up just as much or more than my home. So I sell my home and my balance sheet goes up, sure, but the cost to acquire, why doesn't no one ever talk about this? The cost to acquire the next home actually went up more than I gained on this home, which means if you look at how much that next home went up, it also has that much more room to fall. So it's like, I don't want to get into something. Could you imagine this person right here who buys this thing at 3.3 million and then it actually crashes back down to where it should be, probably 2 million to 2.2? How long is it going to be before they ever get back up there, or they're going to have to sell and take a loss? So my thought is, if this is not that crazy of an idea, if this is the new normal and prices stay up, then there's not much to lose to wait. Wait a little bit to be patient. See what happens in the economy. See where rates go. If you look at 2019, when they started to raise rates, oh man, going back 2019, pre-COVID. Oh, take me back to pre-COVID. They started to raise rates, and there was talks of us going into a recession. That they have to raise rates because of inflation right now. They already are. They're talking, I don't know why people don't think this is going to happen, 50 or 75 basis points. Housing market's going to cool off. We might collapse the economy. They might have to collapse the economy to cool inflation off. I don't know. Kind of got a goddamn war going on. That might cause an issue. Sky high gas prices, worker issues. We have issues all over the place. Would it hurt to just sit still for a year and see what happens? And I get it. You don't want to wait until the market cools off and then your home value goes down. Here, if you're selling your $500,000 house to buy another $500,000 house, maybe the time is to move now. But at the end of the day, if you're going to sell like your $500,000 house to try to buy an $800,000 house, don't forget, like, that $800,000 house went up a lot more than you gained from your $500,000. So maybe you sit around for a year. And if the prices stay up, then big deal, nothing to lose. But if they crash, you might be able to go get a deal. So I'm sitting still thinking, you know what? If it takes a year or two, I'm going to look around. If I get bored, do a spec home for investment-wise. If I don't like anything else, you can't put all your money in stocks and cryptos. Like, I like looking at bars and restaurants. I like looking at commercial real estate, residential. If you're going to do residential, apartments ain't exciting me right now because of what happened during COVID and how they people didn't have to pay rent. Looking at just doing, building spec homes and selling that type of stuff for residential sounds fun. I'm gonna sit still, just see what happens. I feel like there's nothing to lose right now, but it's like you got to sit around, and when a collapse happens, you have to have the cash on hand to make moves. They always say the rich get richer because of blah blah blah. Most of the rich people I know got rich or richer because they had money when an opportunity presented itself. So when the market crashed in 2007, people had a bunch of cash to buy all that money at all-time lows, made a bunch of money. When the market dipped during COVID and it crashed, people poured a bunch of money in. When S&P go down 20, 30%, I'm guessing, boom, throw a bunch of money in. Thing bounces back up. Stock market goes crazy, double your money. You have to have your money ready when the opportunity presents itself. If you have all your money tied up in a house and then the market crashes, you don't got no money to invest. So just one of those things where I think being patient maybe is the best idea in the world, but I'm not giving any kind of financial advice, just some insights here right now. But look at this chart and tell me what bubble? Are we in a bubble? Tell me that's not a bubble. It's not just this house, by the way. It's not just that they listed the price. This is going on and people are buying the stuff up here. People aren't just listing it for the hell of it and it's spiking up. No, this is where things are getting bought. And I don't know what else you need to see a bubble. This is a bubble. I don't want to be the person that bought top of the bubble. And no thanks. I got a roof over my head. Life's not bad. I'm going to sit still. I'm going to wait for that opportunity. And I feel like way more money has been made by being patient than, I'm guessing Warren Buffett probably makes more money than day traders. Random thought here, just off the cuff. But, big red alarm when you start seeing adjustable rates. It's people are still trying to squeeze into too much home. And because everything got so expensive, and a lot of people were living a good life the last 24 months. We pumped 5, 6, 7, as much as $10 trillion into the system. We had fat unemployment. Wages went crazy for some jobs. Stimulus, there's so much money sloshing around. We got used to eating good, traveling, shopping. That lifestyle creep gets you. Like, I knew doctors that were living check to check. You make more money, you spend more money. The problem is sooner or later this money dries up, and that's when the collapse happens. And people are still trying to hang on right now. They're still trying to keep things moving. But this is one of those signs. Now you're starting to get into different loan products because the rates are going up, and you're trying to squeeze in and maximize that house. Dual income, a little bit of pullback in the economy. You lose one of those incomes in the home. All of a sudden, you can't make the mortgage payment. So We shall see what happens. Like I said with my little chart there, what bubble? Like, I don't know, things just go up 40% overnight. What bubble? We know how this ends, and we're going to sit back 6 months after it happens and go, oh, we should have seen that happen. Because every time it happens, we sit around for years after so worried that it's going to happen again. Then we let our guard down, and then we think it's never going to happen again. And you're right, it never happens again until it does.